Howdy 102ers. This shouldn't be a very long video at all, seriously, but it is going to be a very important one because I'm going to show you where the material is that you will need to emulate and ready for the upcoming Unit 3 argument essay. So pay attention. This coming paper is worth 25% of your final grade in this class. While I'd like to be the normal jokey guy that you've come to know and tolerate over the last 12 weeks, I sort of feel like I need to show the gravity of this situation. This paper will make or break your grade in all likelihood, so it's really important for you to focus yourself and do what you were supposed to do in the way that you were supposed to do it. One thing I think many of you have gotten a misconception about is this. These rules and grades and assignments and guidelines are not my own personal interpretation of the curriculum. Yes, I have changed a few formatting ideas for smaller assignments, but I am following the college-wide curriculum for every assignment, and I'm asking you to follow these college-wide requirements as closely as possible, because if there is any issue with grades or whatever, any English department on campus will be able to advise you or help you with any problem. So please, pay close attention to the sample document we're going to review today. Now that I've said that, you'll see a tremendously detailed weekly announcement. Be sure to read through it, okay? We have what the date range is. We have a few different ideas here, la 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 la. We'll have our video that you're going to look through, hopefully. Then we've got the assignment that you're going to be working towards. Here is the sample document right here. Here it is, right here. Please use it. Okay, it's under the preview. All of the different Unit 3 materials that we have already gone through that will help you, including the counterclaim and refutation sentence frames page that we went over last week with Pennington Publishing, right here. And then the progress checkpoint. You will have 3 options. All of it's spelled out right here. So I would like you to make sure that you understand what's what and where it is. Then, of course, just to verify the course schedule, click on the course schedule over here on the right-hand side. You will get to our wonderful schedule page. Scroll all the way down to week 12. And you will see review Unit 3 material as needed. Well, Unit 3 started way back here in week 7. So any of this material here that you aren't completely sure of, probably want to review, okay? We will have drafting conferences this week by using the Unit 3 checkpoint. I went back and forth so many times thinking that I wanted to push this back to this week. But honestly, I kept thinking that keeping it here will be a smart idea because I've already asked you to complete your development section, and you should already have multiple pages to show me with just the introduction, background, and conclusion left. So, what am I talking about here? Well, clicking on the Unit 3 progress checkpoint takes us to this page here. Lovely, wonderful. The Unit 3 checkpoint will be submitting the material that you have already done to me so I can review it and give you feedback on the most important parts of the paper prior to the submission in 2 weeks. Basically, I will be looking at your side of the argument, encompassing a minimum of 3 argument points. Oh, look, I have them spelled out right here. And by the way, here's the sample document again, right here, linked inside the progress checkpoint assignment. You're going to give me a minimum of 3 paragraphs using CSET format. You can have more than 3. That's what minimum means. And you should have at least 2/3 of a page for each paragraph. That will give you a really well-developed, very well-detailed paragraph that's going to explain your section without really much question. After that, you will have the counter-argument section. This is something you completed last week in the discussion board. You have a minimum, again, you can have more, but a minimum means at least 2 paragraphs using CSET format again. You will have counterclaims, you will have more setup, you will have more evidence, you will have more tie-in. Each of your counter-arguments should be roughly 1/2 to 2/3 of a page. After that, we have our rebuttal section. The rebuttal section, again, should be 2 paragraphs in CSET format. It should have at least those paragraphs, meaning you can have more if you need. and you should be aiming for a half to 2/3 of a page for these. The reason why there's a difference here is your argument is going to be stronger. It's going to be more detailed. It's going to be the one that you care about the most. These sections are going to be the other side. It should be a little bit weaker than yours. Otherwise, you might have had to change your ideas. Okay? I will be looking for detail. I will be looking for source material. I will be looking for cohesion, the way each section seamlessly flows into the next. I will be looking for the supporting ideas which build up and tear down the thesis statements and topic sentences. All of this is important in the development section. Honestly, if you're going to ask me how long this should be, I would say that your entire development section should be probably 5 or more pages. Now, if you had listened to me over the last few weeks and done a little at a time, you should be in absolutely fantastic shape and not stressed in the least. If you skip the videos or just said to yourself, nothing's due, I'll just catch up at the end, then guess what? You're probably going to be bad-mouthing me and pulling your hair out. I also want you to make sure that you have at least an attempt at an APA references page. Any source material you're using should go there. Give a shot with the formatting. You're not going to lose points on this draft. It's just basically going to be, did you give me enough detail? If you do not make any attempt at APA and you just give me a list of URLs, yeah, that's a problem, okay? If you have an introduction, a background section, or a conclusion, feel free to submit them as well. I am more than happy to see more than I'm asking for, just definitely, not less, okay? Before we get into the rest, let's take a look at the directions and sample. Now, reread these directions. The directions that you need are the first 2 pages. The most important for me to remind you of now is the fact that this must be a minimum of 7 full pages. A minimum of 7 full pages. That means no less than 7 full pages. Do not give me 6 full pages and like a quarter. Do not give me 6 full pages and a line. 7 full pages, which means if you start on page 1 with your title page, your development should start on page 2, which means 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If your references page starts on page 10 or later, you're in fantastic shape. If it starts on page 8 or page 9, okay? Please, for the love of God, make sure it's 7 full pages. This is where most people lose their points. Make sure you format it correctly. Double-spaced text with 1-inch margins and 12-point Times New Roman or Calibri font. Anything less than that, you will lose points. This is a college-wide requirement, not for me. Next, you must have 7 sources cited within your paper in APA format. I understand that this says a minimum of 6. I disagree with that because let's just do simple math, shall we? You've already found 7 sources to begin with. You found 2 in Unit 1. You found 2 in Unit 2. You found 3 in Unit 3. Now, being an English teacher, my math skills are not all that great, but 2 plus 2 equals 4, and 4 plus 3 equals 7, right? So therefore, I do not understand why they're saying 6. You need a minimum of 7. I will hold you to 7. Let's move on. Then we have our breakdown of the paper right here. You can look through this on your own. That's no problem. We've talked about it in the past. The one thing I do want to bring up is your background section. A lot of people get confused here. This is anything your reader needs to know to understand the basics of your argument as a whole. Okay? So, go through that. Then we have all the pieces that you are very comfortable with. And then down here on page 3, we start with the sample document. This is what a title page should look like, my friends. I would like you to follow this. Title in bold, space. Your name, no space. Receiving institution and department, no space. Receiving class, no space. My name, no space. Date of what the assignment is due, okay? And then look, there's nothing else on that page. So we get down to the second page, and we start with our title again. Wonderful, brilliant, amazing. We have our introduction. We end with a really good thesis statement down here. And then please make sure that you have your page number up in the upper right-hand corner, followed by each individual section that is correctly labeled. We have background. Please note, there is no introduction. We understand that this is the introduction simply because it follows your title. But now we have background. We have all of our background information in there. See, it's 2 paragraphs. It doesn't have to be, but it doesn't need to be just a single paragraph either. Then, for each claim, I would like you to show me, this is claim 1, and then what that claim is. Give me a nice little blurb of it, okay? And here we have one well-developed paragraph with in-text citations. Down here, claim 2, and then what it is. We have one well-developed paragraph with in-text citations. Claim 3, and what it is. We have one really well-developed paragraph and in-text citations. Oh my, oh my, oh my, look at this. Claim 4. So whoever wrote this sample, not me, was a go-getter. They gave you 4 claims. And that's fine. You might have 5 or 6, depending. Make sure you have all this material correctly illustrated, and you have everything completely and cohesively put together. In-text citations. We get to the counter argument. Then we have 1, 2 paragraphs with in-text citations. Rebuttal, 1, 2 paragraphs with in-text citations. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm right. 1, 2 paragraphs. And then we have our conclusion. Okay? We finish our conclusion. We see that it ends on page 10, which means we have done 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We are now at 8 pages plus, which is great. And then we go all the way to the next page because the references always start on their own page. We have our references page with every source that we used within the paper listed in alphabetical order, not in the order you used it within the paper. That means C comes before GE, comes before GR, comes before GU, comes before L, comes before M, comes before P, comes before S, okay? That's what we need. So, as you can see, after reading through all of that, every little bit of information that you need is right here, including the sample and directions document we just reviewed right here. It is also on the announcement. Please make sure that you know where to find this. Now, I'm giving you 3 options to complete this week's assignment. The first option happens to be a face-to-face live conference where you can meet with me, the man behind the curtain. Yes, that is a Wizard of Oz reference. Yes, that movie was made in the 1920s, which is why the picture isn't the greatest. The movie is much older than me, so don't even think I was at the premiere, okay? The face-to-face conference will be you, me, my office, and your paper. You'll take notes as I give them. It's actually very helpful to do it this way, but you must schedule it ahead of time. I am available during the school day, but I am not available 24 hours a day. The conference shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Great. The next option happens to be a Zoom conference. I don't know why this guy's not moving, but if you would like to meet with me over Zoom, I'm happy to do that with you as well. In order to meet with me, you first have to finish your draft. Then you'll have to email me and we'll discuss an appropriate time to meet. Then you have to submit the draft and show up on time. Again, it shouldn't be more than 10 or 15 minutes. Good? Good. In order to do that, here's my personal Zoom link. You'll email me. We'll set a time up. We'll do that. These 2, option 1 and option 2, must be completed before end of day on Friday. So if you're looking at this on Saturday, you cannot Zoom with me. Okay? Because I will be unavailable over the weekend for face-to-face or Zoom conferences. Option 3 is one that most people usually do. It's a plain old submission. You've done this numerous times over the course of the semester, and it's not live, so you really don't get an opportunity to ask questions that suddenly occur to you. This happens to be my least favorite option, but it's probably the most popular one because everybody gets the most time to do it. So remember, this is very important, folks. I'm trying my best to give you everything you need to succeed in this paper. If you listen to me and follow these instructions, you will be cruising to the end. If you skip the videos and just think you have done right, you take your chances by spinning Fortuna's wheel. Please do not leave it to chance, okay? I'm trying to make sure you're ready. And that's it, folks. Not too short, but important video. So rewatch it if you like. Good luck. Let me know what I can do to help more, and I'll hopefully talk with some of you soon. See ya.